Alright, today I'm gonna give you guys a comparison video between all three of these Batman figures. One is by Mafex, one is by Mezco, and one is by Accessory Figuarts. And then here is the Mafex Toyz accessory pack, or yeah, more accessory pack. So I'm gonna give you guys a detailed look to see which one would be best for you to purchase. So let's get into it. Alright, so here I have all three figures outside of packaging, so let's go over accessories first. Really quickly, here's the Mafex one. I'll keep the Mafex one. I'll try to keep the Mafex one on the left, the Mezco in the middle, and then the right would be the SHF. So here's the figure, and as far as accessories, comes with a bunch of hands. So quite a number amount of hands here. And then grapnel gun, of course, and then the forearm extender, and then here's another forearm section, and flare, batarang, and then another chest piece, and then two wing head sculpts, one Batman, one extra Batman, and then one Cowl. So there it is. And then as for the Mafex, as for the Mezco, we have three heads, total of three Batman heads, and one wing head and one Cowl. And then here are the amount of accessories. And some are already on him, so here you can see there's some bits missing. That's because they're already on him. And then this is the only one that comes with a flex suit. Then let's take a look at that again. And then here is the SH Figuarts. Comes with the least amount of accessories. You can see that that is it. One extra wing head sculpt, and then chest plate, and batarang, which is he's holding right now. And then yeah, that's about it. The cape here I have here is because I did a custom cape, so that's why I took this one off. And this is a transition of hard plastic to soft goods, and it looks horrendous. So let's zoom out again. Here are all the accessories. So you could I would say Mezco is definitely the preferred version of this with the amount of accessories. Alright, now I will narrow it down to just the head sculpts. So here again, Mafex, Mezco, and SH Figuarts. So here are three of them, and then you can see three heads, two Bruce Wayne heads, one extra Batman head, and then a Cowl, and then two Batman heads, one Wayne head, and one Cowl. And then over an SHF, just a Wayne head. So let's compare the head sculpts of the Bruce Wayne head sculpts here. So again, I will keep them the same order, and then I will add in the Mafex Toyz version here. So let's take a look at the head sculpts. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Mafex version, and then here's the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. Pretty nice, actually. Skin color might be a little pale, but I think he is a pale person in general. So there's one head sculpt. I think this one is pretty nice. And next up, this is also Mafex. This is the scruffy look with the raccoon eyes. And this one not as impressive as the other one. Sculpt is a little off, and you can see some of the hair bits painted skin color. And next up we have the Mezco version, and this one has a decent look of Robert Pattinson. And it has the raccoon eyes, and it is the scruffy look. Skin color is a little bit darker, more natural, human looking skin color. But again, not sure whether his skin color is as dark as this, because I think he is pretty pale in general. And here we have the SH Figuarts. And he too has a pale skin color. It's not as pale as the Mafex, but still a pale color skin. And this one is the scruffy look with the raccoon eyes. It's not as uniform, it's more blotchy, so I think that's also more accurate. And lastly, we have the Mafex Toyz version. This one has the darkest skin color, which I don't think is accurate, but he does have a 5 o'clock shadow all around, which is really nice. Raccoon eyes is pretty uniform, which I don't think is that accurate. He is the scruffy look, but a very, very nice sculpt. And once again, here are all 5 of them together, so you can make the decision as to which one you think has the best look for Bruce Wayne. Honestly, I think the SHF done the best job to replicate his head sculpt here, the likeness of Robert Pattinson. This one does look pretty good too, but again, personal preference. So which one do you guys think is the best? Mafex, Mezco, SHF, Mafex Toyz, likeness. Alright, and here are all the Batman heads, and of course on the left we have the Mafex. Here are the 2 of them. One has a angry look, and here's the vanilla look, and they both got a little bit of stubble. I mean, you can't see it on camera, but they are there. Turn them down a little bit. No. And then here are the 3 from Mezco. 3 different looks for Batman. We have the closed mouth, the duck face, and then the angry mouth. And then the only one we have for SHF is this one. And it's okay, not great. The mouth section, it's very plain, and the skin color looks a little too white. And then lastly we have the Mafex Toyz, and this is the vanilla look, and he does have a 5 o'clock shadow. And out of all these, I would have to say I personally like the Mafex Toyz the most. And then next, I actually like these Mezco ones quite a bit, because the eyes are looking up, so it gives them the menacing look, which the Mafex Toyz also has. And then after that, probably the Mafex, and then lastly the SHF. So as far as the head sculpts are concerned, just the head sculpts, personally I would pick Mafex Toyz, and then Mezco, Mafex, and then SHF. And only 2 company has the Cowl, and then the 2 are Mafex and Mezco. Those are the only 2 with cowls attached, and they are definitely different. One has a lower portion of it and one does not. Honestly, I'm not sure which version is more accurate, but of course most likely this is more accurate because it has the bottom, and then this one doesn't. So yeah, but they're all pretty similar. But this one definitely, the Mezco definitely has more texturing on it. It has the leather feel to it, and it has the pattern of more of a leather look to it. Here, let me give you a closer look at this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here you can see there are a lot more detailing on this one than the other one. Well, I'll show the other one in a second, but there's a lot of detailing on this one, so it makes it look more like a leathery like material, but it's not It's just plastic. Now here's the Mafex one, and you can see how shiny and smooth this one is, which is not as accurate, I would imagine, but it does have the nice stitchings on it. And this one has the stitching, but it's not as pronounced as the Mafex. I mean, yeah, the Mafex one. So this one is the Mezco one. So out of these two, I would have to still go with Mezco because of the detailing. This one lacks the detailing quite a bit, but it has stronger stitchings than this one. You can see. Way stronger detail, way stronger stitchings here. But I still prefer the Mezco. Alright, so here are all three figures. Cape. Again, this one I switched it out to a custom cape because the SHF comes with a transition cape where it transitions from the top where it's plastic to cloth, which I don't like at all. So I had to switch it out to a cloth cape, which is a custom that I made. And then the other two came with a more realistic material as far as the cape is concerned. This one is shiny, smooth, while this one has more patterns on it, has the skin-like pattern on it, which is way more accurate. And yeah, the stitchings, I believe this is way more accurate. And then here's the one that I put on the Batman. So this is more of a glossy, it has a metallic sheen to it. So as far as accuracy, the Mezco definitely is more accurate. This one is nice, but it's not accurate at all. And mine and SHF is terrible, so don't even get that one. So as far as the cape is concerned, it would be Mezco. Now, as far as the proportion of the figures, even though the Mezco one has bigger head, the size-wise, they all look pretty similar as far as the height. The SHF is a little shorter and a little skinnier. The Mafex one, I personally like the least amount of because the proportion seems off. The chest is too narrow, and then it has a huge gap in between. Show you that. You can see it right there. There's a huge gap right here, which makes it really unsettling to look at. And proportion wise, just off. And then the way they cut this right here, it just makes it all really off. And it's a little bit on the skinny side where he has kind of wide shoulder but skinny torso. The Mezco, I think proportionally, I think is the best looking one of all three of them. Shoulders, chest, and then the abdominal section, they all fit in really nicely. And the SHF is pretty good. It is a skinny body for Robert Pattinson, Batman, which he does have. He is on the skinny side. And the legs, they're cut right here on the thigh. It is quite noticeable, but proportionally, I think it works. It still works because there's not a huge gap in between here either. So as far as which one I would pick, it would be Mezco would be the first choice, and then SHF if only you're gonna customize the cape and switch it out to something else. And then lastly, I would go with Mafex here. Mafex has the worst proportion of them all. And now here's a closer look at them. So first we'll start off with the Mafex. And then Mezco. lastly SHF. Now, as far as articulation, the arms, I mean, they're all going to be pretty similar. I like the fact that this one has the shoulder pads attached to the arms, so it goes along with it, 360, no problem. And bicep, elbows, all really good. I mean, yeah, I can't go wrong with it. This one has a bit more of a torso articulation because of the huge gap in between here, so it allows him to do more maneuvers, so you get him to do more dynamic poses, I would imagine, with that amount of torso movement. And then the legs, they are really weird because they are ball joint attached here, and then this is also ball joint in a very weird looking way. But it does allow him to do more dynamic poses. But it does look a little weird from certain angles. But yeah, I think poses wise, this one has the most, has the best amount of articulation as far as creating dynamic poses for your figure. I think this one is by far the best of them all. And then the cape is wired, of course, and it's a pretty strong wired, much stronger than the other ones. And then here's Mezco. Mezco is a little limited because of the outfit that he has on, so it is on a thicker material, and it is pretty true to the film where it has armor over inner suit. So this one still can give you poses, but not as dynamic as the Mafex, of course. But yeah, still good. More for vanilla poses. This one, it's more for subtle poses, not dynamic. Definitely not dynamic. It does have a wire cape, but not as strong as the Mafex one. And here's the SHF. The shoulders are, where did they attach it? Oh, they attach it to the arm as well, so it can do 360, no problem. Bicep, elbow is a single jointed elbow for this one, so it can only give you about 90, unlike the Mafex, which is also a single joint, but it gives you a little bit more. And this one, with the less amount of gap in between, still can give you pretty dynamic range as far as the abdominal is concerned. And as for the legs, it can give you 90, and yeah, it does have a thigh swivel. So as far as dynamic poses, oh, this one shoulder popped off. It's on a ball joint. So as far as having a figure with dynamic poses, I would have to say, yeah, Mafex definitely the one. If you want dynamic poses out of all three of these versions, yeah, the Mafex one is definitely the best. And then second would be the SHF, and then lastly would be the Mezco. Mezco, again, is more for vanilla poses, more for subtle poses, like walking, that type of stuff. I mean, you can still do some poses, but not as dynamic as these two, as the SHF or the Mafex. Mafex is definitely the best out of the three. So at the end of the day, out of all these three figures, personally, if overall decision, I would go with the Mezco, because proportionally he looks the best. Even though he's not as dynamic, the head sculpt is much nicer, and then the cape is more accurate. So overall, I would probably pick Mezco over any of the other two. And then secondly, the second one I like would be the SHF, because he does have dynamic poses. Not as good as the Mafex, but still good enough. Proportionally, I think he looks best. Not best. He looks better than the Mafex. And I do have the Mafex Toyz editions, so once I put this head sculpt on, he looks far better. And I also gave him a custom cape, and that's a huge thing. If you aren't gonna give him a custom cape, then he's gonna look the worst out of all three. And then lastly, I would go with the Mafex, because proportionally, I just don't like the separation between the chest and the abdominal section. It's just too much of a gap here, and the chest definitely needs to be propped out a little bit more, because right now it's too narrow. The chest is definitely too narrow for this guy. But overall, he does have the most dynamic poses out of all three of them. Cape is good, but not as accurate as the Mezco here. So that would be my least favorite. So 1, 2, and 3. And then it's more of a preference if you're deciding which one to get. Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking for accuracy, overall accuracy, then go with Mezco. And if you're looking for dynamic poses, a lot of huge dynamic poses for photos, then probably Mafex. And then, because I think you can put the, let me see if you could put the Mafex head onto, I mean, if you could put the Mafex Toyz head onto the Mafex body. Let's see here. Yeah, this one you have to push it in. Nope. Okay, you get this on. So if you have the Mafex Toyz head sculpt, it can go with the Mafex. But this one is meant for SHF, but it will work with the Mafex. So if you're looking for dynamic poses, then yeah, definitely go with the Mafex. But again, looking for accuracy, proportionally, then go with the Mezco. And SHF, yeah, again, personally, I still like it the most. Well, not the most. Once with the Mafex Toyz head, then I do like it quite a bit. It was my favorite until this one came out. So yeah, so I guess go with the Mezco. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So there you go. This is the comparison video of all three Batman figures. And yeah, let me know which one you guys decided on, and which one you guys picked up, and how do you guys like them. So there you go. Thanks for watching.